Can I?
Yeah, you wanted to come in? Go ahead.
Can I read one of the comments?
Oh, sure.
Low body count girls are more attractive, and that's just interesting
Facts.
because it just plays
Facts.
But see, it plays into this this concept that like if you it's like, you know, either you're the
show
prude,
more chat.
the,
Hold
the
on.
prude
Hold on.
slut scale.
Hold on just a sec. Eric, show some more of the chats, please. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it plays into this like the prude slut scale that like either like, you know, like, oh, you've only slept with a few people, and then it's like, okay, now I'm into that, but like it has to be the right amount of people. It can't be too little, because then it's like, oh, like you're a prude and you haven't slept with many people. But
nope.
if it's too many.
Wait, do you mean in heterosexual like dynamic?
Yeah, I
for
feel like
most
there's
men?
this.
No, the lower the better.
Well, that is
Zero.
That is so strange.
0,
Yeah.
1.
Because you're gonna shame women for exploring their sexuality, like.
It's not about shaming. It's about having a preference.
Yeah, but it's a lot like you're seeing a woman as a good, you know.
No.
Exactly.
Okay, well, think of it this way. Like, I feel like a lot of men, like, are kind of very into like the concept of like taking a woman's virginity.
Yes.
Like, oh, she's pure, she's untouched, and that also goes into like the whole shaving thing. Like, from a very young age, I always thought that was so strange. Like, you need to be bald everywhere like a child. You need to be pure, untouched like a child. Like, it's where
are you going with that?
There's so much
Where are
to
you
go
going
into
with
here.
that?
Keep
Because
going,
I don't think a man having a preference for a woman who has shaved legs, or who prefers a woman who's maybe more innocent, has a lower body count, is somehow
partaking in the shrinking of women.
No, I don't. It's not like a child. I don't want to go there. I think that's pretty normal.
Normal. What is normal though?
Normal was created by men.
Exactly.
What?
And I love
What?
I love
Normal
Don't
was
let
created.
me.
Normal was
created by men.
Okay. I don't even
It
know.
wasn't created by women.
Normal is
Normalcy.
created by the broad consensus of culture and society.
From
by
centuries
both
and
men,
centuries ago, where only
both-
men had say. Sorry.
Women had plenty of say back in the day.
Did they though?
They had plenty of say. Plenty of say.
I don't know.
Women-
that in
women
the
had-
history books.
But
His
let's not
story,
go.
right?
Let's
Not her
not go.
story.
Let's not go back into the misogyny, patriarchy stuff, because we already sort of
Which
talked about
women?
that.
But just
No.
real quick on this
Like-
topic of the shrinking and the low body count thing, I love that you brought that up, because it does play into the shrinking of women, like the hairlessness and
shrinking?
the purity, shrinking. Like,
But men are
stay small, stay
attracted to innocence.
small.
That is an attractive trait.
That's
in
weird
women.
to
It's
me.
not. It's. Let me. Okay. You guys mentioned the hair thing. Let's talk about hair. Do you guys have a preference for men's facial hair?
No.
Clean shaven, beard, nothing.
No.
Personally, I do
A
not.
lot of women.
dated a lot of bearded men.
Okay. Well, you're an outlier. You're an outlier. So, beard, no problem. You'll date a guy with a beard.
I think I prefer no, but
You okay? So you
I have a
you prefer
preference,
no.
but
So you have a
like-
preference for clean shaven.
yeah, but if he has like a mustache, that's fine too.
What about a beard?
like a full beard?
A big beard, long beard.
Like how long?
To here.
I personally wouldn't, but people
Okay, so
do.
you have a preference about hair. What
Okay,
about
yeah.
you? Would you date a guy who had facial hair, full beard,
Yep.
mustache,
No preference.
handlebar mustache?
No preference.
No preference at all? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Samantha.
Same,
no preference? Okay. And we know you.
Well, are you
Hair.
trying to compare facial hair to
Leg hair.
pubic hair?
Well,
oh, leg
or
hair.
pubic
thing.
hair too. Women are free to have a preference for.
Men have pubic hair too.
No, I know, but women are free to have a pubic hair preference. Some women don't want to jungle down there. A lot of guys trim and shave. So
The beard thing, it's a fair thing to talk about, like leg hair and the bearded hair.
because a lot of women
don't like
a full beard. They say, "Oh, it scratches my face," and
jobs say it's unprofessional. Same as leg hair, unprofessional. There's this thing.
but there
around
are
it.
also some women who say, "I really like a beard. I really like a mustache."
Mm-hmm.
So there's that too. But I'd say overwhelmingly, I think I'm sure they've done studies on this. It's probably majority of women, so over 50%, that do prefer clean shaven.
But okay, this concept of men being attracted to innocence, it's interesting because then it is that just reinforcing that double standard of like, oh, so men can have sex with a bunch of women because then they're experienced, but then the woman is innocent. And it's I mean, literally women used to not be able to get married to a man, like when arranged marriages and stuff, if they weren't a virgin, right? So
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because there's a reason. No, there's a reason. Now listen, I know those days are gone. You ask most men, they're certainly not expecting women to be virgins in this day and age. Absolutely not. That's done. That's over with. Maybe unless you're like very religious, you're Christian, Muslim, etc. But there are reasons for. There are reasons intellectually, and then there's also biological and evolutionary reasons why men prefer women with a lower body count.
Okay.
I can go into it. So, and would you guys agree that men and women are attracted to different things?
That is so, I feel it's like
it's self-evident.
It's a heteronormative statement, right? Like,
well, but okay, let's speak within the confines of heteronormativity.
I don't know why we would have to do that though, because like like there's such a spectrum of sexuality. It's not that black and white.
Well, it's certainly clear that a man who's attracted to men, a gay man, but what he's attracted to in the partner is certainly different than, or could be different than, what a man is attracted to in a woman.
Mm-hmm. Right, and there are men who are attracted to men and women, or maybe
there's
mostly
bisexual men,
mostly
there's
women, but a few men. Like there's just so many options.
I'm not saying that these people that doesn't exist, but I think we are broadly speaking about the vast majority of people are heterosexual, and so that's kind of what we're talking about. I mean, we can go into the nuance of men dating men. We can talk about bears and cubs. I don't know what the twinks and all that. We can talk about those dynamics. There's all those dynamics in the gay community. We can talk about lesbian couples. I mean, there's a lot of nuance, but for this, we are generally sticking to just heterosexual discussion.
So the question is, are men and women attracted to different things?
So are men and women attracted to the same things, or are they attracted to different things? So is attraction symmetrical? In other words, are the physical characteristics and are the personality traits that you find attractive in men, do men find those same things attractive in women? And my answer to that would be no, but I want to open it up to the panel and see your take. So Samantha, why don't we start with you?
Are they attracted to different things?
Are men and women attracted to the same things?
I think everyone is attracted to different things. I think not one person could say the same thing as the next. So I can't answer the question because there's no right way to answer that.
Everyone has their own preferences, sure.
Yeah, like my preferences are 100% different than yours. But they also could vary from yours or yours. Whether I was interested in a man or a woman or whatever it was, my preferences would still probably differ from someone else's in some sort of way.
But we can look, broadly speaking, at certain things. Like you could say, for example, broadly speaking, women like men who are taller than them. I don't think that's a necessarily controversial statement. I think if you line up.
So I guess if we're saying like, okay, yeah, a guy would want maybe a girl, like most men would say they want a girl who's shorter than them, and a girl.
I think actually most men would not care.
Or most men would not care, even though I don't even care about height. But if that's, I guess, what you're trying to imply, then.
Let me ask a different question. Would you date a guy who's smaller than you, size-wise?
No, like skinnier than me? No, I don't think so. And that's just because of my preference. But there could be someone else who would say yes, and that's where. But the exception doesn't make the rule.
If you ask most women are probably going to say, I want a guy who's taller than me, and I would. This is not often a common one, but I'd want a guy who is physically bigger than me.
I mean, that's definitely true, but
Or, okay, we could talk about personality traits too. I think
I mean,
you ask. Go ahead.
that's definitely true, but like I said, like maybe another girl, like maybe okay, even if only 30% of women would date a guy who is physically smaller than them, that 30%, that definitely still counts. So I mean, literally, the question simply, do men and women like different things, or do they like the same things?
And I want to make it clear, like I'm speaking in generalities here. It's clear that people have different preferences, different orientations. So certainly there's women who don't care about height. But if you lined up, say 100 women, and you asked all of them, hey, would you rather date a guy who's taller than you? Probably 95% of them are going to say yes.
Okay, and abroad, like generally speaking, men and women do like different things.
Right.
I guess.
I feel like women are more emotionally driven and men tend to be more physically driven.
Yeah.
Very broad statement. But that's just, I feel like women have more emotional needs innately and men have more physical needs. But when in a relationship, you have one goal of love.
Of love.
It's just where I'm going to take that.
Sure.